Well, welcome to Float Trip 24, the one-year anniversary celebration for Luke Rountree's album from last year, 2023, Milk River. And Luke, you're here with me right now. That was amazing.
Thanks for being here, Evan.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm so excited. Yes, my name is Evan Jarvicks. I do a thing called Make Oklahoma Weirder. I love Oklahoma music, and Luke Rountree is a part of that. I really, really dig that album that you put out, and we're going to hear the whole thing tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, so to celebrate the one-year anniversary, we're going to play through the whole album in its entirety, and in the order that the album is heard, or you can listen to, and so we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to give away some things and do a lot of that.
I feel like there's been a lot of influx in the whole album heard live. You know, it's always a cool thing to just hear it like that. Oh yeah, man, there's a lot in store. Of course, we want to get right back to the music, but there are some things we got to let some folks know, right?
Right.
So you probably see a QR code on the screen right now. If you tip the band, you can get access to all of these songs that you're hearing right now. It's all going to be, it's going to be recorded for later.
Yeah, so we didn't have this planned, but we're going to go ahead and turn this into a live album.
That's great.
If you want to tip the band tonight, we'd love for you to do that, obviously, and we'll send you a live, a download when we're ready in the near future of this live album.
That's so cool. So yeah, if this is a YouTube video,
right?
Typically lives can be watched later. But if you want to have it downloaded to listen to later on your own without having to go to YouTube, this is a great way to do that. And any amount donated with that QR code will get you a recording of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But if they tip $25 or more, they get something else.
We'll send that live album, and then we'll also send a t-shirt.
A t-shirt. Yeah. So yeah, if you'd like a t-shirt, I'm sure you'll figure all that out later with sizes and everything. But I did see the design on your website. Is it the country shirt?
Yeah, we've got two. One's the skeleton country shirt.
Country.
And then also Red, White, Tiger, which comes from Love Is a Word. And I had a friend from Nashville who did the album artwork.
Nice.
He put those together for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the conceptual nature of this whole thing.
Yes.
We'll get more into that later. But one more thing we got to mention, of course, there is also a mailing list that folks can sign up for on your website.
Yeah, we're going to release a new song tonight, one that we've never been released. No one's ever heard. And if you sign up for the email list on our website, lukerountree.com, you can receive a free copy of that video tonight after the show.
Yeah, and we don't know when that's coming out. So you'll have it now. You'll be on the inside knowing what's happening as this band grows, which we might want to address that real quick, because typically we've seen you as Luke Rountree build on various shows and your album and everything, but you've got a big logo with you now, and so it's LR.
Yes, Wild Mercury, WM.
Well, the WM means Wild Mercury, and so that is you with band.
Yeah, so that'd be me, Luke Rountree's Wild Mercury. Before I recorded the album, I wanted to have some sort of moniker, band name. I just never settled on one.
Right.
And where that one comes from, to me, it's a little bit dangerous because it comes from Dylan. So anytime you use Dylan, you're like, this is a big pool that somebody might have already used. But the quote is when he was recording Blonde on Blonde in 1966, he said, that this is the closest he'd ever gotten to the thin Wild Mercury sound that he had in his head.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's
for me, I guess this would be my Wild Mercury.
Okay, I love that. Cool. Well, they sound great. Let's, you got to go back.
Yep, I do.
All right, got some more tunes coming up next. Stick around. We'll discuss some more about the album to come.
Wake up into an ironclad. Oh, love is a word never said aloud. So let it shine through my eyes. Let me feel it in the dark
And we're back with me. We just heard Madeline, one of my favorite tracks on the album. I do want to ask you about that in a moment, but I think we need to zoom out a little bit just because some folks might not have heard this album in a while. Some folks, maybe it's their first time actually getting to know the full album, because you haven't ever performed it in its entirety like this before, right?
Not like this, not in this order.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a first. Given that it's such kind of a conceptual album in a lot of ways, to me at least, there's obviously some imagery that relates amongst all the songs. It kind of feels like an experience, and I kind of wonder, we're doing this whole float trip and leaning into that a little bit, and so there is kind of like a flow in a river. So what inspired that? Is that just the creative process coming to light, or do you have like a specific intent or angle that you're really trying to like deliver a specific experience for people?
You know, to me, a lot of these songs have been around some of them have been around for 10 plus years, and some of them were very new.
Okay.
And when I started recording them, so it was what encapsulated all those different, from 10 years ago, the songwriter I was, to today, the songwriter I am. And so what could kind of put an umbrella or a net under all those ideas and just different songs.
Wow.
That's kind of where
it's really unique to have that much of a year time span. 10 years, I almost feel like that's more of like a greatest hits album when you kind of see where they started and where they ended up.
Right.
Why did you have songs for 10 years that you hadn't recorded or released?
I back in like 2007, 2008, I had a band with a longtime good friend of mine. We grew up together. We did the band thing and wrote a lot of stuff together. And so a lot of these songs are left over from that. Some of them, I shouldn't say a lot. Some of them are left over from that. And then, goodness, time just gets away from you. And another album, a solo album, was always a dream and was out there, but unfortunately I let too much time just go by.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got the space between some of them. And I'm always just trying to write. I'm always trying to put songs in my back pocket, and it's just a way I like to create and process the world around me. And so, and also what's going, inside of me. So it's just something that I do naturally.
Yeah. Absolutely. Artist as lifestyle versus artist as commodity and career.
Right.
Like you just write songs and you just happen to have these songs like for this album. Like it wasn't written with this album in mind per se, but they just kind of came together.
Yeah. And kind of the idea that this album was always out there for me to chase was kind of some of the reason, or it is one of the reasons why I named it Milk River.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Milk River, it's a real river in Montana, and it's from one of my favorite novels, Lonesome Dove. And that book, quickly to tell the synopsis, tells of cattlemen in the late 1800s from like the border of Mexico and Texas, and driving cattle all the way up to Montana, and they stop at Milk River. And so for me, the idea of a long journey, lots of things happening along the way, people passing away, people falling in love, people, just time passing and what life can happen. And also, one thing I love about that book is, it traverses across the geography of the United States, which I just love that. So Milk River was kind of that ending point for me. Like I had finally come to the end of a long drive. And so that's why I felt like when I didn't have the album name before I was recording, but in the middle of it, I was like, that is perfect for what this has felt like for the last 10, 12 years, holding some of these songs in, my ears and in my mind and my heart, and actually being able to see them come to fruition.
I love that. And I don't know that I would have picked up on that myself, having not read Lonesome Dove. But even if I had, like it's a real river. It has all sorts of different meanings, but it's a physical place. But for you, it's a metaphor for this point in your life, which is really cool. Wow. I want to know so much more, but I know we've got more music to hear. So we'll talk about some songs here in a minute. But
Awesome.
yeah, go
All right.
on and get back out there.
Oh, my friend, where have you gone? You're crossing over borders with lines redrawn, and you don't think you're playing the pawn. Your mother calls from Kansas City, but you were always leaving out and keeping busy, and all the facets make you so pretty. You're in love with the scene, and you know you're so 23, and you know you will find pleasure in gold. You will find it in the silver that you hold. You better let your youth shine in its time. Tomorrow comes, do what you can. Your breath will betray you, and you will understand that none of us chose to even be alive. You're in love with the scene, and you know you're so 23. Yeah, you know home is where you grow. Light falls and the heart is shown. Our home is where we hang our hat. We can live to find, we live and die, and know that. Sunny Nashville is where I fell in love alone. Skeleton Country was our radio. Drinking songs, we were stars to come, taking names on country radio. you a pardon. My own blood stained down my own hand with my purple eye, and I let me know that you left me for country radio. Nice.
Luke, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
So that was, what's the name of that one?
Country
again? Country Radio.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I would actually like to go ahead and pick up there from where we left off. Country Radio, that's where one of those t-shirts comes from.
Right.
The lyric about skeleton country.
Country, yeah.
Yeah. I looked that up in advance for this, and I was like, what is skeleton country? What is this? And you got to tell me. I don't know what that means.
Sure. You know, sometimes when you're writing songs, for me, I'm trying to find melodies once I figure out a chord progression, trying to find melodies. And the first two lines of that song, Sunny Nashville is where I fell in love alone. Skeleton Countries was our radio. And it just fell out of my mouth, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but for me, it was trying to find that most bare, minimalist, raw country music. That's kind of for the song. That's what it was for. But to me, that's what skeleton country is. It's that bare bones, just what's pure.
I like that. Yeah. So if a bunch of goth kids find the t-shirt and they're like, "Oh, I love graveyards," that's skeleton country.
That's exactly, yeah. There you go. I didn't even think of it like the country landscape.
Who knows? No, I was curious about that, amongst many other things. I mean, I don't have time to pick your brain about everything, but that song and a lot of the other songs you have on this album that we're hearing is I kind of get a bittersweet feeling from a lot of it. Like this one in particular, there's obviously a bit of nostalgia per se for a time. We're talking about Nashville, but we're also talking about like that's a place that once was and no longer is, and for reasons that may not be explicitly clear, like there was a separation there. And so we have this sort of memory that's still kind of golden in our rear view mirror, but it's back there. So I guess I'm just kind of curious, like, is this and other songs, like, did you live these songs, or are they kind of more inspired by other life experiences, or there are other people's life experiences? Like, there's stories here. Like, how autobiographical are they?
Yeah, so this story, and I love this song because it is a story like that, and I felt like I was able to achieve some sort of narrative without just writing every single detail. But it definitely is not autobiographical.
Okay.
It's fictional to the best, maybe inspired from just other types of songs that go along that topic of love and loss, and heartbreak song basically. There's a lot of those, but earlier before the show we were just discussing something that you jarred my mind, and one of the things about like living with the song for so long and like listening to it and playing it live, it sits with you. And what's funny about songwriting is that the initial inspiration could be one thing, but what it ends up meaning to me has been completely different from what has inspired. And I love that about music because, one, I can take anybody's songs, your song is somebody else's, and it becomes my own. And I do love that about art and music. But it's been kind of funny that this song has done that to me, even though
and I love that.
It
does happen a lot. I see it once you get to kind of know artists more personally, and you really realize like what the story is behind things. Right. Sometimes it really surprises you just how off the mark you might be about like, oh, I know what this song is about, and then it's like not that at all, and yet it still can be, and so it's just really interesting. So you've got I said I would come back to one of your songs. Madeline. Yeah. So is Madeline a real person?
So yeah, Madeline is a real person, but that's not her name.
Okay.
And that was I've taken a lot of flack for that. It's a love song about my. I guess we were married at the time. My wife when I wrote it. I was trying to think if she was my girlfriend at the time, But I've taken a lot of flack because a lot of our friends and just people who know us have, who's this Madeline person? And my kids will ask me that. And that just is love songs can be really there's a thin line with love songs. It's for me, what speaks to me, and you can go on the line of very cliche very quickly. And maybe I did on that. I don't know. But to me, I didn't. And her name just didn't fit well.
Sure. I had to assume that was probably part of it. Like, as a songwriter, there are some like technical logistics to like if you want your song to just kind of like be singable and a karaoke song or something, you don't want to have like a million syllables within like a Madeline just has like a very classic sort of, it just rolled off the tongue. Madeline. I mean, and that name kind of, it feels maybe a little bit old-fashioned, perhaps, at least to me. And like, I don't know if I know anybody named Madeline, but it kind of has a warmth to it. I think that just, I don't know. Sometimes it's just where your muse goes, and then you kind of build around it.
Yeah, and Rod Stewart, he already took the great name Maggie for his song.
Oh, so. Sure.
I couldn't use that.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, at some point, everybody's taken all the good names.
Exactly.
I mean, we had, 23, and, it's like, there's all these, it's like, it almost sounds like an Adele album or a Taylor Swift song or something. Yeah. Like, it's obviously not that, but it's like with all the 20 numbers that are out there.
It's funny you mentioned that. My daughter is just like, so you think you can write a song with 23? She's a big Taylor Swift fan now. So
yeah, it's the sequel to 22.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, gosh. Is there anything that you maybe want to clear up for some folks, or?
No, I think with songwriting, the thing that I love about it and that it spoke to me as a young kid, what got me into wanting to actually be a songwriter is that it could whatever they were talking about could be mine, and become mine. And so I like almost all songwriters, I like for the audience, the people to take it in and make it their own. And I know what it is to me, and like I said, sometimes that even changes, and I'm sure they will again. But meanings, they're great, but sometimes a song is just a feeling, and it's true. The lyrics are kind of I don't even know what they are.
Skeleton country,
right?
I mean, I love that. Well, we're about to hear what is it? It's Kings and Queens.
We're gonna play Kings
Wait in
and
Line.
Queens. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yes. So before we send you off to go perform again, Kings and Queens. This isn't actually about the king and queen.
No. No. This is probably my attempt to. Well, I know it's my attempt. It started as a little blues song.
Oh, okay.
And you can still hear parts of it in some of John Freese, who did the bass on the album. He's playing bass with us today. He's still playing some of that bluesy little licks that are in there. But I started as a little blues song, and I wanted to just encapsulate what Christ meant when he said the first to be last and the last to be first.
Okay.
And so the greatest thing I could think of is the visual of a king and a queen actually waiting in line for something was funny to me.
Yeah.
And it was humorous, and so that to me encapsulates what that means.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I can't help but think when I think of whatever you want to call it, is kings and queens, it's part of a political system. It's a governmental thing. So my mind kind of went to like, is this a political song? And it's not necessarily, but it can be.
For sure.
But it's really more just about, we're all...
Yeah, for me, but it could definitely be, about how our political systems, whatever it is, are from the grandest things that humanity can create to the mundane of life. First to be last and last to be first. I feel like that truth just transcends that.
It really does. It goes a lot of places. You can do a lot with it. Cool. Well, I can't wait to hear it.
We'll get to it.
Yes.
Do you wanna know how to stay alive? tear the treaty and burn the white flag. My only crime is that I'm alive. And give me my death, give me the grave before I live to be dead. Please let this war return before the peace is served. Trails can't see above, the red coal's been shut. There's a dirt road drilling right through Rome, where sheetrock ash paint's all we love, and the fear we feel
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the show as much as I am over here. Just a quick reminder, if you missed our opening spiel, there is a QR code in the corner if you want to show some love to the band. Any tip amount will give you access to a full live recording of what you're hearing right now, straight to you. You won't have to track it down on YouTube again. You'll just have it on whatever device you like to listen to your digital files for. Take it on the go jog with it. I don't know. It's a nice companion piece to have, and you'll have it for any amount tipped to the band tonight. Although if you tip $25 or more, we're throwing in a t-shirt for that. There's 2 different designs, different sizes. You'll be contacted about that, but $25 to that QR code, you get a shirt plus the album. And we also want to remind you that if you go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, we have a brand new song, and it's not just under that Luke Rountree name. It's Luke Rountree's Wild Mercury. And so that's the full band. That's kind of like the new concept going forward. So if you want to peek at that early before everybody else gets it, that early access, all you got to do is be on that, sign up on that. All you got to do is be on that mailing list. And if you're already signed up for that mailing list, you're already going to get it. But if you haven't signed up yet, now's your opportunity. Do it now while we're live, because it is dropping tonight. And so you're going to want to do that now. And again, that's at lukerountree.com. There is a big thing that'll pop up, lets you know, hey, you want to sign up. You just fill the little bar, the text, the input. I know words, I promise. But there is a newsletter, and you'll be getting that right away. So we're going to cut right back to the lovely music as we close this down. We got a few more tracks for you from this album, Milk River, but just wanted to pop in and remind y'all there is a lot of really cool stuff that you can have tonight if you participate in those few options.
Into the morning sun, shining down on everyone. The day is young, there's life to be done. And Mama, I see their black-eyed ploy to play me down and take my choice, with nothing behind and nothing before. Mama, I wanna come home. My brown shoes have tied. In so many nights they've lost their souls. I can't run and hide. So Mama, please don't send me home. And Mama, please don't send me home. All my friends are leaving again, just like these questions
All right, let's do this one more time.
I'm back.
Good to have you back. This has been fun. Thank you so much for having me on here to do this.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
I don't know. I've hosted some stuff in the past, but I've never done like a live stream. This is really different.
Me neither.
This hat has never seen a live stream either. No pun intended. A live stream.
Oh, I get it.
Milk River.
I love that.
Well, we're gonna wrap things up here. We got one more song for the folks at home. Yeah. Of course, don't forget to sign up for all that good stuff I mentioned. There's gonna be reminders on your screen. But we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Milk River. It's been a year. I think this is really cool. I think it's a really nice opportunity to kind of come back to something and revisit it, and instead of the life cycle of an album being so short anymore, and you drop a full album and 2 months later somebody says, when's the new album out? Like, let these things breathe, let them live. Like, they have so much to tell. And so I feel like we've kind of been touching on it all night, but like, these are organic things that if they're written with, heart and reality, and just like, your goal is not necessarily to like sell 1 million records. It'd be great, obviously, but this is something that just truly comes from you as a vulnerable artist, as someone who's putting yourself out there and sharing your art with the world, sharing a piece of yourself with the world. Right. And it's really special. And so it's nice to come back and revisit and appreciate that this is still a thing that lives. And I just think it's really cool. I mean, I think there's been a trend somewhat in the past decade or so where we look back on albums 5-10 years later and we wonder, what impact did it really have? But it's only for like those major albums, and a lot of these little ones, they come out and they kind of whimper and die, and it's just not fair. So I do have a question. Yeah. It's not just rambling. What is that like for you to actually come back to something that obviously encapsulates such a big part of your life? We talked about the river, we talked about the long journey to get here, and now that you initially got past that point, and obviously, it has that nice little honeymoon phase, but then where are we now? Yeah. Because it has been a whole year now.
For sure. It's been a lot of fun playing these songs live and letting them breathe a little bit. Yeah. And a lot of the recording was Gilson, who's playing guitar today. He recorded the whole thing with me. And then John, as I mentioned before, but Adam, and then Trent, who's playing drums today. Adam's on keys. He wasn't there for the recordings. And so getting other people involved, other musicians, and just listening to how the songs are interpreted through their ears has been a lot of fun in our live shows. And looking back, it was such a Goliath in my mind of overcoming, and just a mountain to climb, and like getting there. Yeah. It's almost like the last year has been more of just like a relief of like, I finally kind of put those out. And and then writing songs, creating anything, you feel exposed, right? Yeah. So you kind of relearning that, because I back in the day when we were in a band, you kind of have a band mentality, right? And you can like cling to each other. Yes. But when it's just you, there's way more. I don't know. Maybe it's all in your head, but there's more exposure. It feels like. And so, getting used to that and being comfortable with that, this is something I did, and I am proud of it, but it's interesting to hear it through other people. So you feel a little bit like, oh gosh, not whether they're going to like it or not, but like, this is what they're going to identify with me now. Right. And that can be a trap. Yeah. So just learning to kind of let that go. Yeah. And let the art be the art, and then also dream of what new things could be. Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty there, obviously. Right. You never know how things are going to pan out. But sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes there's surprises. Has there been anything that's happened since then that you've kind of not expected in a good way? Yeah. I guess the biggest surprise would be where my head's going next. Okay. This album was, let me backtrack. I didn't think I could ever get the sound that I really wanted, I didn't think I was really going to get there. You know, like when you start a project, you're like, this is where I would like to be, but I'm probably going to get 50% there. I feel like I got 100% there with this.
It sounds really good.
A lot of that
was such a slept on album. It really is.
Yeah, a lot of that was, you know, Gilson and where we were.
Gilson for sure.
And just the players on it. I've said it a couple of times, but just about them. But like the guys who played on it were able to just hear it with my little bit of guidance, and they really caught on to where I wanted it to go. So, but I mentioned what's interesting is so I feel like I've got a good strong foundation of like this is what I wanted to sound like, this kind of songs I wanted to put out there, and then now not necessarily, you know, changing it, but like where does it go from here? What's the next progression, the natural progression, and what feels right and what feels artificial, if that makes sense. Because it does. Your mind can go 1,000 places, but what really feels like.
And at some point, I almost feel like, you know, because you do have all these collaborators now, where before you had written everything without that in mind. And I know that can be a trapping sometimes for folks who continue to write within the walls of, I got to record everything myself. But now you have, you know, the room to explore this with other people and let their voices become part of the music as well. And so that is like a really nice place to go. And if you force yourself away from that, sometimes that is a little thing. Yeah. I mean, that's how I'm taking it. But.
No, that's for sure. I didn't realize how much listening to the album over a year, I 100% enjoy it. I would say the only thing I would change is how much of me is on there. Oh, yeah. Which kind of sounds weird, but
more guitar solos. Gotta let them.
Yeah, exactly. Every break, every moment. No, but like you're saying, like letting some other collaborators say, you know, have their part in it. And I've always wanted to be like that. I think the dream of when you're young and the garage band and wherever, you know, we were a basement band, we weren't a garage band, but just that mentality of collaborating with others. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's the next album. I would love to be more of that.
That's great. Yeah. And chemistry is everything with that, and it sounds like you got it, which is sometimes just magical. Like how does it happen? I don't always know. You just found the right people. Some people you already knew, some people were new to you, and now we have Wild Mercury, and so that's kind of going to be the thing forward, right? Luke Rountree is going to become Luke Rountree's Wild Mercury.
That's right.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So that's what's next. And again, if you want a preview of that, you can get that single tonight before anybody else hears it. Just got to be on that mailing list tonight. So
all right. We'll play you one more song.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. We're just going to play out from here. So I've been your host, Evan Jarvicks. I run a thing called Make Oklahoma Weirder, but really, I love local music, and I love getting to be a part of this. Luke is so cool for letting me do this. And thank you so much to all the cast and crew, or whatever you call them, for doing this. There will be some credits after this. And so we appreciate them very much for what they've done. But let's get to that music.
I got signal flares in case the boat starts sinking. I got one good sail, one good pail, riding slowly across the ocean's gale. Smoking engine, we pray don't fail. I got your peas neck contracts, freeze for sale, and I'm at the circuit. And I also marched down the center line. They said repentance not our style. They gave me miracles kick drum steaming and a Wembley chorus line. And I got skinny LED gene harmonies that'll blow your mind. Oh, and I've been sprinkled, baptized till eyes wrinkle, even got inkfish tattooed to my fingers. I got my hand raised just like a preacher. I got a sick feeling in my heart from playing religion games. You see, I'm still trying before I go a dying. I got one last idea frying, that I can make my own narrow way without you. Without you. Without you. Oh, without you. Thank you all for coming to the float trip tonight. We're so glad you tuned in.